Hello, everyone. It's John here. And if you've been active on Twitter for the last couple of hours, you'd have seen this tweet made by Jack. If you don't know Jack, I don't have to say Jack. He was the former CEO of Twitter and now is leading blogs and Square. If you want to read more about him, I think you should kind of just read more. I won't be explaining that in this video. But like earlier today, we've been kind of hearing the rumors since earlier during the week. But today, he made a post downsizing a good number of people from blogs, which is his company. So let's kind of look at what blogs is all about. It says it's the parent company for Square, for Cash App, for Spiral, and a couple of other Bitcoin native companies. So this is what Jack has been up to for the last couple of years. And today he laid off about 4,000 people. And now I've been hearing so many things about what's going on, why he did it, if there's any other round of tech layoff coming soon. But like I had a couple of contrarian views about what is going on that I think every software engineer or anyone in the job market really needs to listen to. On the bright side, I think there are a lot of things on the way he laid off that I think other founders or other CEOs should keep in mind. At the same time, I'll be explaining why this is not maybe a trigger or an entropy into wider industrial layoff around. But first of all, let's take a look at his speech. Of course, we type in your case and it does that too. And so he's saying they're making the hardest decision in the history of their company, reducing organization by nearly half. So you can imagine this kind of layoff. It's more like 50% kind of layoff. So it's very serious. And this is why it's generating a lot of attention. That means over 4,000 of the employees at the block will be leaving. And I am a connection of a couple of people who work at Block. If you work at Block and you're seeing this, I'm sending I am passive with you and I hope you land your next big role in another very good company or even a better one. So this is me empathizing. Everyone was impacted by this. Moving on, 4,000 people were asked to leave. And now let's not kind of dig further. Here's the thing. So for everyone who has been laid off, according to Jack, they'll receive 20 weeks, more like 21 weeks kind of salary for their work and maybe 5K towards anything else they want to do. So 30 weeks is how many stopping months they receive salary for 20 weeks and also 5K stipend. I think that's a good transitional package, if you ask me. Maybe not the best in the market, but like it's kind of good. But that's not the point. So when layoffs typically happen, it's because of business trouble. Maybe you're not making enough revenue or you guys are churning, stuff like that. But this is not the case in the case of Block. You say they are not making the decision based off of business trouble. So if it's not business trouble, then what is this? And that's why this particular layoff is more interesting than you can think of. And I believe there is really a lot to unpack from this. According to him, the gross profit is growing, everything is growing. There's something that's changed. If something has changed, what has changed? So here we come. This is really the line that is the tipping point. They are seeing intelligent tools they are creating and just kind of works more with smaller and flatter teams. In short, the advent of AI makes a good number of roles pretty unnecessary. So they are kind of using agents to supplement people. And as a result of that, there is no need to pay more people where you can pay agent for lesser things done. And business wise, maybe this is understandable, but no conclusion yet. So there are two options according to him. It's either he does the layoff gradually or it does everything at once. And it chose to do everything at once. That's why he laid off about 50% of the workforce. So yeah, and he's also communicating with everybody. This is quite a long stuff for a layoff thing. But yeah, it's understandable. He has to outline his ratio for us to get what's going on. But like once that is done, let's really gets to analysis. So for me, though, the first thing I'll say is layoff transitional package is normal. And this guy did it in the instant case, which is, in my opinion, which is commendable. He provided the transitional package, and I think that's not bad. But to cut to the chase, here is what I think many people are missing. And I won't really miss any work here. I'll say that Jack often hires too much. So I saw a tweet this morning that Jack works with bloated companies, and I think that's the best way to explain what's going on here. And for context, let's check how many employees Jack was managing at Twitter, his former company. So I asked Gemini, and this is what Gemini has to tell. So I asked how many employees did Elon rush from Twitter and how many remained. So you can see the answer for yourself. Elon flushed about 80% of the workforce. And let's kind of get the number. I want to get the actual number. So you can imagine from 6,000 employees to about 1,000. That was kind of what Elon did. And Twitter is still standing today. Twitter is still a good product. In fact, they've shipped so many updates. Everyone is loving the app. It's still the same Twitter as we know. And interestingly, Twitter is now generating revenue more than it did when Jack was there with fewer employees. And this is for people saying, okay, this is due to AI. I agree AI makes things faster and all that. But this wasn't even in the age of AI. And Elon managed to do this task force efficiency. So from this, and it wasn't even because maybe Elon was tapping into agents or other AI products. It was simply human workforce management. And for Twitter to still be working, that simply means Jack wasn't simply doing something right. And that is what Elon did. Now, move from Twitter to Block. He hired about 10,000 people at Block. For heaven's sake, that seems quite too much. Well, it's a parent company working on so many things, but even at that, it's maybe too much. And that is why he maybe had to cut down. So the first thing we have to say is this is simply Jack's deficiency. He's a leader, he has to honor his mistakes anyway. So this is due to Jack's deficiency as a leader. And so we shouldn't premise this to say that there is an imminent wider layoff in the industry. So let's make this a bit more logical. For like I mentioned, for Elon to do the downsides of 80% and super still running, that means something is wrong with Jack's approach. And that's the same reality he has to face now. And that is why I say it's the efficiency of a leader. So this is not to say there will be wider industrial layoffs. No, I absolutely disagree. And when I say this, the best argument we will put forward is okay, what's up with AI agents? And I would say that agents make us work better and faster. So if you are doing crappy work at your workplace, or if you are doing something that is not close to revenue or something that is just not so hard, agents, AI will replace you. It's that simple. And if you're doing work that is substantial, agents or AI will make your work better and faster. So I don't see agents as something that will maybe cause undue layoff or stuff. It's simply empowers teams. And if you have been inefficient in your team, agents will make you realize that faster. And that's simply my take on this old Jack thing. I think it's simply because he has overhired in the beginning and now he has to face the team and all that. And concerning the revenue thing, he already mentioned that it's not due to revenue. So if it's not due to revenue, it's due to deficiency, and it should be that simple. But what about you? What do you think is going on about this blocks layoff? What are your takes? What do you think I didn't maybe argue well that I think we should talk more about? I'll be eager to hear your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, last thing, thanks to Casuals for sponsoring this video. You know, making YouTube videos is something I love, especially for developers, and Casuals is sponsoring this video. Thank you. I'll drop a link in the description. You should check them out, and